Restored Republic via GCR. Judy note, according to Tier 4B ISO 20022 on Telegram, as of February 1, 2026, the global quantum financial system was locked in and irreversible. 209 nations bore gold-backed currency. The fiat slavery system was dead. U.S. Incorporated was officially bankrupt and dissolved. The constitutional republic was fully restored. Raid Sun. Night August 23, 2026 sees deep state assets. Trillions in stolen wealth has been redirected to humanity via global trust funds. A debt jubilee has been executed, mortgages, credit cards, student loans erased under NISA protocols. Prosperity packages preloaded for Tier 4B humanitarians. The EBS primary signal was live. Starlink satellites have total dominance with cabal backdoors eliminated. The 10 days of darkness window was opening. A communications blackout to install secure systems. Non-stop truth broadcasts to follow, election fraud proof, child trafficking exposures, bioweapon crimes, Fort Knox audit bombshells. Medbed centers were rapidly expanding with priority healing for veterans, trafficking survivors and critically ill. Pharma empires were crumbling as cures flow. Trump signed it last night while you slept, 2 executive orders. Back to back. 1 kills the IRS. Permanently. The DOJ language, forever barred and precluded from examining or prosecuting. That's not a pause. That's a death certificate for the tax collection arm of the old system. The other opens the Federal Reserve payment rail to digital assets and non-bank institutions, without a banking license. He just opened the door to a system that doesn't need banks. Why would you kill the IRS unless the collection system has already been replaced? The quantum financial system went live May 8 in 209 countries. Running parallel to SWIFT since midnight. Every sovereign citizen is being assigned a quantum ledger tied to their birth certificate bond, the value they stole from you the day you were born. Your birth certificate has been traded as a security since 1933. Your social security number is a bond tracking number. Every human is worth between $100,000 and $450,000 in stolen compound interest, unlawful debt, and seized labor value. JCR Article 21, Debt Nullification, is now computing. Every mortgage. Every student loan. Every credit card. Every medical bill charged with unlawful compound interest since 1971 is being calculated and encoded into your ledger as you read this. The gold is in Fort Knox. 147.3 million ounces. But the audit team that entered March 14 under Executive Order 14,271 found more. Gold repatriated from the Vatican Bank. From the Bank of England. From Basel. Nowhere on any public ledger. Ref. Knox Audit 2026-0314 Sigma total value, not $692 billion. $43 trillion. That is the gold that backs your new currency. Trump said, "I want to see the gold," because he wants you to ask why. The answer, the gold is there, and $43 trillion more, and it is yours. Tier 4B notifications started 96 hours ago. That goes back to Thursday, August 20, 2026, when trial redemptions began. Redemption centers were established in 800 locations. Waiting for one sign, Trump walking into Fort Knox on camera and opening the 20-ton door. When he opens it, the EBS fires. The EBS fires, locking the QFS. When the QFS locks your debt disappears. When your debt is gone, you are liberated. They kept you a slave for 53 years. Every dollar you owed was a lie. Every interest payment was theft. The guy who said they steal a lot is about to prove it live on television. The door opens once. What we thought we knew, but didn't really know and now are supposed to know but don't have a clue. With clones, doubles, made-up movies Hollywood style and Trump's military alliance throwing more popcorn at us, it gets so confusing. Pfizer and Moderna synthetic mRNA can persist 3.5 years in the body and produce an endless supply of the potentially lethal Wuhan spike protein. As antibodies switch from neutralizing IG-1, IG-2 to useless IG-4, spike becomes unopposed and cellular and tissue-level damage sets in, creating the wave of chronic diseases we are seeing today. COVID shots have killed more Americans than World War I, World War II and the Iraq War combined. We now have internal documents exposing that the FDA covered up the biggest biomedical disaster in history. Criminal proceedings are urgently needed. 3 U.S. states file legislation to classify COVID-19 mRNA injections as biological weapons of mass destruction. 1. Minnesota Bill HF 3219, 2. Tennessee SB 1949, 3. Arizona House Bill HB 2974. That's because mRNA shots have killed, injured and disabled more people than 100+ Hiroshima nuclear attacks. Pfizer, COVID vaccine causes heart attack, sudden infant death, diabetes, liver damage, epileptic seizure, brain embolism and 49 serious side effects. Putin delivered 25,000-page mRNA dossier to Trump, time to arrest Bill Gates for mRNA crimes proof. Pfizer bribed FDA with $2.8 million for vax approval. A Pfizer executive admitted under oath before Congress, our mRNA COVID vaccines were never tested to stop virus transmission before being rolled out to humanity at large. B. Possible timing. No official time frame has been given for EBS activation, where we will isolate at home for 3 to 6 weeks as global martial law suspends media, internet, phone and takes over TV and radio to present 8-hour documentaries 24/7 about what is going on while the military takes down cabal-controlled governments worldwide and makes mass arrests of corrupt global elites. See Midnight Window opening, all systems are green. Tier 4B ISO 20022 on Telegram Monday, August 24, 2026. QFS accounts fully integrated, prosperity packages prepared for Tier 4B humanitarians, military sources. Tier 4B redemption centers on standby, IQD/VND/ZIM rates coming into alignment fast. Initiating final sequence for Project Odin plus EBS. Engaging controlled blackouts to shield the transition. The Epstein/Soro Ranch files are out, horrors exposed, just as prompt. JCR/Medbed deployment teams mobilized after darkness, confirmed, 8 million plus arrests made via CIA databases. Traitors gone. The Almighty planneth the fall of the wicked. Trust the timing. The light is on its way. D. Possible Medbed timing. On Monday, August 24, 2026, top alliance commanders Juan 07, JFK Jr., and Trump's global military white hats confirmed quantum medbeds have entered infinite expansion phase after ISO 20022 completion powers unlimited free access across 209 nations, while public military tribunals begin for cabal big pharma executives who suppressed Tesla frequency healing and murdered children with chemo for decades as Starlink EBS exposes every crime. On Monday, August 24, 2026, ISO 20022 finishes gold-backed QFS transition funding endless medbed centers and portable home units powered by Tesla free energy. Quantum scans map full DNA toxins and vaccine damage in seconds. 15 to 30-minute sessions regrow limbs, reverse cancers, restore organs and erase aged 20 to 30 years for millions of patriots under restored Republic protection. On Tuesday, August 25, 2026. Free access cards reach every awakening citizen as perfect health locks in as planetary normal under Nizar JCR abundance. Trafficked children and underground survivors emerge fully healed to youth, while Alliance forces crush remaining Illuminati medical controllers and clone operators in mass arrests worldwide. On Wednesday, 26 August, 2026, space program Crystal Chamber tech fully merges with public medbeds. Humanity enters golden age of zero disease, unlimited vitality and free energy as Cabal's 50-year cover-up of extraterrestrial healing frequencies collapses under Trump's military command forever. On Thursday, August 27, 2026, neighborhood medbed hubs and home units deliver continuous regeneration funded by ZIM redemption. Consciousness transfer and DNA linking reverse generational trauma, chemtrail toxins and bioweapons overnight, while global streams prove the miracle irreversible to every soul on Earth. On Friday, August 28, 2026, Restored Republic seals complete victory as medbeds become free birthright forever. Healed patriots rise sovereign while last cabal pedophile networks and big pharma death machines face final public tribunals, and the age of perfect health, abundance and total freedom dawns for all awakening humanity. On Saturday, 29 August, 2026, Permanent Free Medbed Network activates fully as Starlink EBS locks final exposure of elite crimes against children. Medical slavery ends forever under White Hat Alliance rule and the Golden Age stands unbreakable. Another version, on Monday, August 24, 2026, Swan 07, JFK Jr., And the Global White Hat Military Alliance confirmed ISO 20022 has completed the gold-backed QFS transition, unlocking infinite free quantum medbeds expansion across all 209 nations as Trump's military tribunals begin crushing remaining cabal medical elites and big pharma pedophile networks, while Starlink EBS streams continuous regeneration, proving the golden age of perfect health is irreversible. On Monday, August 24, 2026, ISO 20022 locks complete across SWIFT, Federal Reserve, ECB and BRICS, powering unlimited medbed centers and portable Tesla-free energy home units for every Patriot family. Full-body quantum scans in 3.2 seconds map toxins, vaccine damage and genetic defects. DNA repair and frequency healing reverse cancers, limbs and age in 15 to 30-minute sessions under full alliance protection. On Tuesday, August 25, 2026, free medbed access cards flood every registered citizen as perfect health becomes planetary standard under restored Republic and Nizar Jezar abundance. Underground tunnel survivors and trafficked children emerge fully restored to youthful vitality, while military forces accelerate mass arrests of Illuminati controllers who hid the tech for 50 years. On Wednesday, 26 August, 2026, Crystal Chamber Space Program technology integrates fully into public medbed systems. Humanity awakens into zero disease era as cabal's suppression of extraterrestrial frequency healing collapses forever under Trump's command, and White Hat forces seal final strongholds. On Thursday, August 27, 2026, home medbed units and neighborhood hubs deliver continuous overnight regeneration funded by Zim Redemption and QFS Wealth Transfers. Consciousness transfer erases generational trauma, chemtrails and bioweapon injuries, while global streams broadcast the miracles to awakening masses worldwide. On Friday, August 28, 2026, the restored Republic stands unbreakable as medbeds become free birthright of every soul. Healed patriots rise sovereign while last cabal remnants face public tribunals, and the golden age of unlimited vitality, Tesla energy and total freedom dawns for all. On Saturday, 29 August, 2026, permanent free global medbed network locks in as Starlink EBS completes full exposure of elite crimes against children. Big Pharma death machine annihilated forever under alliance rule. Global currency reset. The most explosive week in financial history is upon us. Carolyn Bessette Kennedy, Sunday, 23 August, 2026. Currently, there is no public access to QFS accounts. Any individual or platform claiming they can help you redirect your funds into a QFS account today is engaging in a scam. There have been reports of individuals losing tens of thousands of dollars to these predatory schemes. The transition to the new financial system is a military-grade operation. When it is ready for public integration, it will not come through unsolicited internet offers. Ty-4B currency exchanges were being reported across the U.S. These were test exchanges done by private appointment. Signed NDAs. Terminals flashing revalued rates for seconds before vanishing. Bankers speak in code. Security teams double their shifts. Redemption centers stand by in silence. Something is moving, quietly, powerfully and irreversibly. Mastering QFS, fund transfers, account setup, RV and redemption funds, U.S. Treasury Center. On Telegram, Monday, August 24, 2026, QFS News, as discussion surrounding the quantum financial system, QFS, grows. This guide covers the central ideas behind QFS accounts, fund transfers, the global currency reset, RV and redemption funds, and the proposed transition toward a gold-backed financial system. Understanding the quantum financial system. The QFS is described as a next-generation digital financial system designed to eventually replace traditional banking infrastructure. Its proponents claim it offers greater security, transparency, near-instant transactions and protection against fraud, while reducing banking fees and eliminating traditional intermediaries. Transferring funds and opening a QFS account. Under the proposed model, users would establish and verify a QFS account, connect their existing bank funds and transfer eligible money into the new system. The process is described as account creation, identity verification, fund transfer verification, QFS activation. Funds entering the QFS would first pass through verification and exchange before receiving a digital gold certificate, connecting the currency to its underlying gold backing. The transition to a gold-backed system. According to the QFS narrative, full activation is tied to the global currency reset, GCR. Existing currencies would be reset under a new asset-backed framework before entering the QFS. Fiat money would not automatically become QFS currency. It would need to be verified, exchanged and assigned a digital gold certificate. Traditional debt-based banking would then gradually give way to direct account-to-account transfers, eliminating many fees, delays and third-party systems such as SWIFT. RV and redemption funds. The original material claims that RV and redemption funds, including ZIM and revalued currencies, would enter QFS accounts as gold-backed funds during redemption or exchange. The proposed sequence is GCR currency revaluation redemption/exchange gold certificate QFS activation. The transition is expected to happen without a major public announcement, with traditional banks gradually adapting and potentially evolving into financial service centers. Gold at the center. Physical gold is presented as the foundation of the entire system. The theory claims that large gold reserves would back currencies worldwide, with individual reserves identified and connected to digital gold certificates. Instead of physically moving gold, the QFS would transfer these certificates, physical gold digital certificate QFS transaction. The goal is a financial system where money is connected to tangible assets rather than unlimited fiat creation. The bigger QFS vision. The broader narrative connects QFS with quantum computing, the quantum voting system, JCR, the alliance and a completely redesigned global financial structure. These remain claims rather than publicly verified elements of the existing financial system. But the central QFS vision is clear: replace debt-based banking with a secure, transparent, gold-backed system where individuals directly control their money and transactions occur rapidly without traditional intermediaries. GCR QFS wallet is now active. What has been whispered for years is now exploding into one explosive window. This is not an ordinary week. This is a critical point. They are in sync. INIZERA/JCR equals now in force. ISO 20022 equals fully operational. Tier 4B equals first in motion. ledger reset instead of lifelong debt. Enforcement system breakdown removing financial control. 3 keys. 1 gate, IQD, VND, ZIMSET. Coordinated. Timed. Restored Republic, GTMO, 2+ million indictments worldwide. All will be revealed by EBS, martial law on Telegram. Sunday 23rd of August, 2026, that is the cover story of the movie If They Died in Public. If they confessed and shared secrets, they were given a choice in how their death was announced to the public. It was part of their deal to have a role in the movie. They were tried by tribunals when they had completed their function. If they did not confess and did not share secrets and did not choose to participate in the movie with the role, they were executed for their crimes against humanity. To be rich and famous means they have sold their soul to the devil. This applies to all industries, plus they had a choice. They took us all in. And most of these people aren't even people. Humans can't eat human flesh and drink human blood the way they used to. Ever heard of spirit cooking parties? Save the children. Celine Dion begs forgiveness in shock cannibal video. I eat children to stay alive. Celine Dion has confessed on camera to drinking the blood of children. She knows she's going to hell. But here's the thing. She's asking the public for forgiveness. She is lobbying the US government to legalize adrenochrome for people like her. Ricky Schroeder claims, as a child actor, he saw disturbing ritualistic killing footage at an elite Hollywood party. Later he met people from the same group, and believes powerful figures in entertainment and government are blackmailed. Wake up, people. The world is run by Luciferian pedos and mass murders. Jessie Chebatars ISR, a survivor of the Illuminati's Rothschild Black Forest human hunting parties. She explains how children are killed, turned into diamonds, and sold on the black market. First they make money off the child by selling them for sex. Then they sell them for satanic ceremonies where they eat the bodies. Every Catholic church has an incinerator where they burn the bodies and turn them into diamonds. What the elite have done to children is beyond heinous. A survivor of satanic ritual abuse has revealed she was trafficked and tortured from the day she was born in an underground facility in Rome with tunnels leading to the Vatican, used by European elites. She says she has seen children being sacrificed in the Vatican, including drinking children's blood. She says religion, the military, media, medicine, intelligence agencies and governments are all under their control. Our world is run and controlled by satanic pedophile psychopaths. Bank of America settles with Jeffrey Epstein victims for $72.5 million after a federal judge granted preliminary approval. Bank of America still denies any wrongdoing but will move toward closure. A final hearing is scheduled for August. What we think we know as of Tuesday, August 25, 2026. FBI Director Kash Patel has confirmed that the U.S. foiled 640 planned Islamic terror attacks just last year alone, as the country faces a heightened threat environment at home and abroad, with new threats emerging. Most recent, an Islamic convert who pledged allegiance to ISIS was plotting to bomb the New York State Capitol in an attack she hoped would kill scores of people, including state senators. The convert maintained more than a dozen social media profiles, many of which were repeatedly suspended for violating platform rules. Praise be to Allah. For September 11, the convert wrote to another user in Arabic on May 28. In another message, "When I can migrate, I will poison these infidels." FBI agents arrested 4 members of the Turtle Island Liberation Front on December 12. The group has been described as far-left, pro-Palestine, anti-government, and anti-capitalist. They were accused of planning a New Year's Eve bombing targeting multiple businesses in Southern California in the name of Palestinians, or Rashida Tlaib. An individual was arrested on December 21 in Pennsylvania after researching ISIS propaganda to use in an explosives attack campaign. On December 29, an ISIS sympathizer was arrested in Texas for attempting to provide bomb-making materials to a foreign terrorist organization. The FBI also arrested an individual in North Carolina on December 31 who wanted to be an ISIS soldier and carry out a mass casualty attack that night. Medbeds, breaking, Trump just signed Executive Order 1947-2026. Medbed technology declassified for civilian use. Pharmaceutical industry has 90 days. On August 22, 2026 4 a.m. EST Executive Order 2026-1947 was signed without a word. There was no press conference. No cameras. No press briefing. Executive Order 2026-1947, Declassification and Deployment of Electromagnetic Regeneration Technology for Civilian Use. This is no rumor. There is no speculation here. This is a signed document from the federal government. The order reads, black small square emoji, all Department of Defense medical programs utilizing any frequency healing technology are hereby declassified for civilian research and deployment, black small square emoji. The FDA is barred from blocking, delaying or interfering with the distribution to the American public of electromagnetic regeneration devices. Black small square emoji, 90 days to report all suppressed clinical trials on frequency-based treatments by pharmaceutical companies, or criminal prosecution under 18 U.S.C. Section 1001. Military medical facilities that are using regeneration technology will open for civilian intake within 120 days. The fear, shares in Pfizer fell 14% in pre-market trading. Johnson & Johnson's emergency board meeting at 5 a.m. Moderna CEO sold $47 million of personal shares before market open. They had known it was coming. They were trying to sell before the crash. Why now? His medical advisors handed him a 3,400-page classified report on 61 years of suppressed frequency healing research. The report included 847 clinical trials successfully hidden from the public, 12,000-plus patients fully cured of terminal conditions using electromagnetic frequency, cost analysis showing medbed treatment at $0.003 per session versus $150,000 average cancer treatment. Trump did a cost analysis. He signed the order. The when, black small square emoji, day 1 to 30, complete declassification of all research documents, black small square emoji, day 31 to 60, FDA forced to approve frequency-based devices, black small square emoji, days 61 to 90, drug disclosure deadline, criminal penalties, black small square emoji, day 91 to 120, first civilian medbed centers open in 12 states. The deep state reaction, they're already trying to kill this. Pharmaceutical lobbyists called the 3 major media outlets at 5:30 a.m. this morning and demanded that they do not report on EO 2026-1947. CNN has gone silent. NBC did not comment. ABC has not commented. Their silence is confirmation. If this was a bogus order, they'd be laughing about it on every channel. Instead, total blackout. A silence perfect. Panic. The facts. The pharmaceutical industry has just been given its death sentence. 90 days. That's all they have left. Then the technology to cure cancer in 42 minutes will be available to every American citizen. They earned money for 61 years. 61 years of human agony. 61 years of oppression. It's over now. Pentagon kept this secret for 61 years. The human body can repair itself in less than 48 hours, Tier 4B Nizar Jazara on Telegram Monday, August 24, 2026. In 1965, a secret research program inside the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, proved something that would destroy the entire pharmaceutical industry overnight: human tissue, nerve cells, organ tissue, spinal cord fibers, exposed to a certain electromagnetic frequency window, 7.83 Hz to 14.1 Hz, can regenerate fully. The project was named Operation Lazarus. They tested it on 214 soldiers with horrific battlefield injuries: burns, tendons sliced, crushed vertebrae. The results were rated top secret, Umbra. Complete tissue regeneration in 36 to 48 hours and 94% of subjects' bone fractures healed in 4 days compared to 6 weeks. Nerve damage, once considered permanent, was completely reversed. 2 paraplegic soldiers regained full mobility in 11 days. The lead scientist, Dr. Robert O. Becker, later published snippets of this research in his book, The Body Electric, and was immediately stripped of all federal funding, blackballed from every university, and erased from medical history. This is how they categorized it: there is no fixed code in your DNA. It's a receiver. Every strand of your DNA works as a fractal antenna, receiving and transmitting electromagnetic information. When your body is exposed to the right frequency, it turns on repair sequences in your DNA that are impossible by mainstream medicine standards. This is not theoretical. This is Pentagon research, documented. 7.83 Hz, Schumann resonance, stimulates stem cell production. 10.5 Hz, triggers full-body cellular regeneration. 14.1 Hz, repairs neurological damage, restoring synaptic connections. Your body is designed to heal itself. They turned the signal off. Why was this hidden? A cured patient is a lost customer, after all. The worldwide pharmaceutical industry is worth $1.48 trillion a year. Every dollar is predicated on one lie: that the human body cannot heal itself without chemical intervention. Operation Lazarus proved this wrong. In 1965, soldiers have been getting access to regeneration technology for 61 years in secret military medical facilities, and civilians are told to manage their symptoms with pills that create new diseases. The medbed is not an idea. It's not a theory. It is not coming soon. It's a 61-year-old military technology used on thousands of soldiers in underground medical facilities and deliberately withheld from the civilian population to protect a $1.48 trillion industry. The frequency is real. The regeneration is for real. The suppression is remarked. They say it takes years to heal. The Pentagon has shown it takes hours. Now you see why they classified it. And boom, Barack Obama, Larry Sinclair and a Tale of Cocaine, S-Euro-X, Lies and Murder, 107, JFK Jr., on Telegram Monday, August 24, 2026. Every so often, allegations surge through the underbelly of American politics that refuse to die. Some call them lies, others see secrets too dangerous to ignore. At the heart of one such narrative stands Larry Sinclair, Barack Obama, and chilling claims of cocaine, sex, lies, and murder that cast a long shadow over the former president's image. Larry Sinclair accused Barack Obama of sodomy and cocaine addiction at a press conference in Washington, D.C. in 2024. He was killed by a hit-and-run driver in 2025. Police said the other driver fled with no trace of the vehicle found. In his 2024 book, Sinclair detailed claims about Barack Hussein Obama, including a gay lover in Illinois. Shortly after the National Press Club speech in 2024, Sinclair said senior advisor David Axelrod led a smear campaign while Joe Biden and his son Beau arranged his arrest. His accusations included cocaine use and sodomy. The most damning claim was that Obama, with Reverend Jeremiah Wright, was involved in the murder of choirmaster Donald Young, an alleged former lover, to silence what he might reveal. Despite backlash, Sinclair stood firm. He described 1999 encounters in which a contact arranged an introduction with then Illinois State Senator Obama. Obama allegedly bought cocaine, smoked crack from a pipe in a limousine while Sinclair performed oral sex, and returned the next day to Sinclair's hotel room unannounced for more of the same. Was Sinclair a whistleblower exposing truth or a peddler of slander? Was the 2025 hit-and-run a random accident or something more calculated? Where there is smoke, many see fire. Sinclair was not alone. Mia Marie Pope claimed Obama obtained cocaine through encounters with older white men in Hawaii. Donald Young of Obama's church was murdered under circumstances some believe were meant to ensure silence. Joan Rivers stated Barack was gay and Michelle transgender shortly before dying under conditions some call suspicious medical malpractice. The legend of Bathhouse Berry persists among those who reject the official narrative. Sinclair's story remains a reminder of how power protects its own and buries inconvenient truths. For those watching elite cover-ups and deep state influence, this tale continues to demand that hard questions be asked. In the corridors of power, truth is often darker than the polished version sold to the public. Oh, historic bombshell. Bill Gates and his 23-year-old daughter have been caught running a secret university program to establish one world rule and global domination. Death cult exposed. Bill Gates has been caught red-handed running a shadow government system through top Western universities whose goal is the establishment of a totalitarian world government that controls the minds of the people, where members are taught how to criminally manipulate government, bureaucracies, and the media. Members of the secret Stanford University branch were so appalled by the literal supervillain nature of the organization, they have now blown the whistle on Gates and his daughter, who is an alumni. The course is officially named So You Think You Can Rule the World, but members simply call it Rule. The Roman Empire never ended. According to the late William Cooper, the Vatican priesthood traced back to the astrological mystery school religions of ancient Babylonia and Egypt. The Roman Empire morphed into the Vatican in 325 AD, during the First Council of Nicaea, to remain in power. Since that time, the Vatican has continued to maintain their power, via religious persecution, blackmail, bribery, murder, pedophilia, and the assassination of political leaders, dignitaries, and anyone else they deem a threat. All roads lead back to the Vatican and black nobility. Doctors are literally manufacturing Alzheimer's. Dr. Joel Wallach, Alzheimer's is a physician-caused disease. Mr. Poole on Telegram Monday, August 24, 2026, your brain is 75% myelin insulation. And myelin is 100% cholesterol. Statins shred that cholesterol, stealing 75% of what your brain desperately needs to stay insulated and functional. No myelin equals no brain. That's why Alzheimer's went from virtually unknown to the fourth leading killer over age 65. They told you to lower your cholesterol, while your brain was starving for it. This isn't aging. This is medical malpractice on a massive scale. Stop letting them dissolve your brain. Do your own research and stop the statins. Protect your myelin. Q. A partial list of MKUltra torture methods, 107, RFK Jr., on Telegram Sunday 24 August. 2026, let's not forget that men, women, and children were killed or rendered permanently disabled during this government-funded program, and nobody has ever been held accountable. 1. Abuse and torture. 2. Confinement in boxes, cages, coffins, etc., or burial, often with an opening or air tube for oxygen. 3. Restraint with ropes, chains, cuffs, etc. 4. Near drowning. 5. Extremes of heat and cold, including submersion in ice water and burning chemicals. 6. Skinning, only top layers of the skin are removed in victims intended to survive. 7. Spinning. 8. Blinding light. 9. Electric shock. 10. Forced ingestion of offensive body fluids and matter, such as blood, urine, feces, flesh, etc. 11. Hung in painful positions or upside down. 12. Hunger and thirst. 13. Sleep deprivation. 14. Compression with weights and devices. 15. Sensory deprivation. 16. Drugs to create illusion, confusion, and amnesia, often given by injection or intravenously. 17. Ingestion or intravenous toxic chemicals to create pain or illness, including chemotherapy agents. 18. Limbs pulled or dislocated. 19. Application of snakes, spiders, maggots, rats, and other animals to induce fear and disgust. 20. Near-death experiences, commonly asphyxiation by choking or drowning, with immediate resuscitation. 22. Forced to perform or witness abuse, torture and sacrifice of people and animals, usually with knives. 23. Forced participation in slavery. 24. Abuse to become pregnant. The fetus is then aborted for ritual use, or the baby is taken for sacrifice or enslavement. 25. Spiritual abuse to cause victim to feel possessed, harassed, and controlled internally by spirits or demons. 26. Desecration of Judeo-Christian beliefs and forms of worship, dedication to Satan or other deities. 27. Abuse and illusion to convince victims that God is evil, such as convincing a child that God has abused her. 28. Surgery to torture, experiment, or cause the perception of physical or spiritual bombs or implants. 29. Harm or threats of harm to family, friends, loved ones, pets, and other victims, to force compliance. 30. Use of illusion and virtual reality to confuse and create non-credible disclosure. 8. Ellen P. Lachter, Ph.D., Kinds of Torture Endured in Ritual Abuse and Trauma-Based Mind Control. Judy Byington, the exchange rates for IQD is already showing up in internal banking systems at levels that the public can't see. Public Forex platforms are behind because they are not on this track. Tier 4B works on its own and is already, allegedly, moving money. Mountain Goat, question: do we as dinar holders outside of Iraq have any assurances that when the time frame to turn in 30 notes expire inside Iraq that our 30 notes will still be accepted? MNT Goat, all we know is what the CBI told us in their plan of 2011. So far my current CBI contacts said they intend to stick to the plan. Our 30 notes outside the country will be used for inner banking. 2 paths, what they have to do to recover the hordes of currency inside Iraq, and that the second path is what they do to collect our dinar. 2 different paths. The point is all our notes will remain legal tender. Don't let anyone discourage you. I have been at this for 20 years and I know what they intend to do. If they change it I will be informed by my CBI contact. That is the important part. John Dowling, Iraq Currency Update, why September 15th could be a significant date. A major milestone in Middle Eastern economic stabilization has been reached with the Kurdistan Regional Government, KRG, Finance Ministry officially submitting its 2027 budget proposal to Baghdad. Expected policy decisions scheduled around mid-September could provide much-needed legal certainty for digital asset platforms, institutional investors, and blockchain enterprises. Frank 26, KTFA, Iraq Boots on the Ground Report. Omar, the television is telling us, they're going to delete the zeros, and repeating it over and over. They don't go into the next part and define how is it that we're going to be getting purchasing power through the lower denominations. And also when you get it out of our borders, they're going to delete the zeros is all they keep telling us, not giving us any value. It's just a cosmetic fix is what they're telling us. Frank, I disagree with the television because lifting the 3 zeros will definitely make your currency worth at least 76 cents, then we will take it to $1 or $3.22 or $4.25 outside of your country. Inside, your goal is 1-to-1. Nobody knows the tax code for this investment. I've always gone by the idea that if you have some type of a profit you really think Uncle Sam is going to let you keep all of it, they're coming after you. Who is it? The government. Not your neighbor, not your mother-in-law, not your best friend, not your enemy, the government. Because they feel illegality to do so. Reset Intelligence, over one weekend, Iraq moved the currency question out of the committee rooms and onto the evening news. The central bank governor told Parliament the current monetary stance is a gradual transition. Iraqi press channels framed the weekend's programming as a single question: after the zeros come off, does the dinar strengthen or collapse? No state does what Iraq is doing in order to preside over a collapse. A country that expects its money to die does not teach its people how the money works. It rations, it denies, it blames. What Iraq did over these 3 days is the opposite. Now the public is schooled on the difference between deleting the zeros and anchoring value. The Iraqi dinar is the most attended to currency on earth. A peg is a decision a country makes once and then defends for good. Iraq put that chart on television 37 days before the deadline that settles who holds the country's weapons. Behind it sits a budget that has to write down what the dinar is worth. Jeff, the budget is being sent to Parliament for approval, starting October through December. The rate has to change before that along with all the U.S. troops leaving. Before all the troops and equipment leave, according to Trump, we've got to get paid. Those two scenarios are suggesting it's probably most likely in mid to second half of September. At the end of the day this isn't that far away. It's very close and that's what matters. Question: can Iraq be a sovereign country October 1st without changing the rate? Jeff, not 100%. To be sovereign a country needs to have full control and freedom over their money, what they're allowed to do with it. So, no, they have to have full power and control over their country and money to be sovereign. Stephen, What we are seeing the last few months is an acceleration period like we have never seen before. We have never seen this much progress that we have seen in all of the last 23 years combined. It's absolutely incredible what we're seeing in the last few months. We are seeing things happen at breakneck speed. We don't know how much longer this is going to go. I am excited. Could it be September, October, November, December? Nobody knows. There's been a lot of talk in the dinar community about the redenomination. Since last week it has taken the entire dinar world by storm, arguing and saying Iraq is going to cut 3 zeros, it's going to be a net neutral event, dinar investors are going to get stuck with pretty much what they paid for their dinar initially. Then you have the revaluation or reinstatement camp, saying, no, this is amazing news because any form of a revaluation or reinstatement has to be accompanied by some type of redenomination, issuing lower denominations that have increased value. That's the camp I'm in. I hope you are in that camp as well. Omar, the CBI has officially made the announcement that they have opened the exchange rate review. This rate has been closed since the rate was changed back in 2023. At least we know they are reviewing a change. This is so encouraging compared to this last week, at least we know the file is open. Militiaman, purchasing power versus redenomination, what's the difference? With a redenomination there's no purchasing power. It is ease of use, a straight redenomination, simply deleting zeros and issuing new notes, changes the unit of account, 1,000 old dinars become 1 new dinar or 10,000 become 10, depending on how many zeros deleted. It's that simple. Prices, wages and contracts are rewritten by the same factor on paper. Nothing about the economy's productive capacity, export earnings, reserve coverage or institutional trust is automatically improved. Redenomination does none of that. If the underlying conditions are weak, the new notes can lose value just as the old ones did. History is full of examples where zeros were removed. Inflation simply continued until new face. I don't think Iraq fits that. How is purchasing power different? Purchasing power is what a dinar can actually buy in goods, services and foreign currency. That is determined by real fundamentals, the credibility of monetary policy and the willingness of the market to hold the currency rather than flee it. A coordinated real effective exchange rate realignment managed by the central bank in concert with the gatekeepers is an attempt to set the rate at a level that reflects those fundamentals and then defend it. It is not cosmetic, it requires the political willingness to let the rate move in a controlled way and then hold it. A rear path is harder, slower and more credible. That's the route Iraq has taken, but the decision hasn't been taken. A date has not been set, they're not going to broadcast it. Tom, in my opinion, a redenomination without a new rear would be as disastrous for Iraq, like it was for Mexico when they did that to the peso back in the mid-90s. Sandy Ingram, I personally am hoping and looking for international currency brokers to be available in the United States to exchange the new Iraqi dinars for the old banknotes. They're going to charge a fee and more than likely it's going to be a hefty fee. I don't want you to mail or ship your IQD to anyone. Therefore, if there are certain places in the United States where you can exchange, you may have to travel to these places within the United States. I will keep you updated on what is and is not happening on the exchange procedure and the time frame. I don't want you to worry. Samson, article, Deputies and Experts, September 30th is a historic milestone for achieving full sovereignty and launching a phase of partnerships and development. Inside the emergency broadcast system, the blackout protocol. For decades, you were told that the EBS was just a test. A simple tool for earthquakes, hurricanes, or weather alerts. That was the cover story. The truth? It's a global override mechanism, a silent chain of command that stands above presidents, parliaments, and corporate giants. When it activates, every civilian communication system goes dark. Screens turn black. Signals vanish. Social media freezes. The world goes silent, until one voice speaks. The familiar line "this is only a test" was a coded drill, a rehearsal for the real transmission that will signal the fall of the cabal. You were told it was a national system. Wrong. It's planetary. Above you, a network of military satellites, the Sky Shield grid, orbits in silence, waiting for one final command. The keys rest in the Pentagon, NORAD, and covert NATO command nodes buried in Belgium, Germany, and Greenland. These are controlled by the White Hats. Generals WHO swore an oath to the people, not to politicians nor bankers. Why now? Because the stage is set. The banks are collapsing. The media is disintegrating. The puppet masters have no more strings to pull. The world is a breath away from reset. When the EBS engages, the veil will rip. Confessions. Arrest videos. Classified files. Truth will pour through every device simultaneously. Nobody escapes the broadcast. First, there will be silence. Hours of digital nothingness. No phones. No internet. Only static and the hum of frequencies shifting. Then, a flash. Your screen goes white. The seal of the Republic appears, not CNN, not BBC, not Fox. A voice breaks through, "My fellow Americans. The storm is here." What follows is the flood. Readings of unsealed indictments. Names. Crimes. Evidence. Tribunal footage. Every lie that built the old world will be shattered in front of your eyes. They tested IT for years. The 2018 Hawaii missile alert, a live simulation. The London and New York cellular blackouts. The nationwide emergency tests that buzzed your phone at random hours, all calibrations for the main event. Because when the real one comes, IT won't be local. IT will be global. Who will fall? Media tycoons. WHO fed you lies. Bankers. WHO enslaved nations through debt. Politicians. WHO sold their people for power. Celebrities. WHO traded fame for dark contracts. Their masks will be ripped off. Their faces shown. Their names spoken. What comes next is the storm of truth. Markets will crash. People will scream. Streets will fill with confusion and revelation as humanity awakens from the program. Then, the rebirth. From the ashes of chaos, the quantum financial system will rise. Gold-backed. Decentralized. Unhackable. Sovereignty restored. Slavery erased. The return of law under God, not law under commerce. When the blackout protocol initiates, do not fear the silence. It is the sound of the old world dying. It is the breath before freedom. The EBS is not a threat. It is the voice of liberation. The hammer that shatters illusion. The trumpet that announces the new era of light. When the screens go dark, remember, the darkness does not mean the end. IT means the light is ready to speak. On Wednesday, 12th of August, 2026, President Trump gave the green light to activate the Worldwide Emergency Broadcast System, EBS, and ordered the Global Military Alliance to take over the mainstream fake news media to make mass arrests of treasonous global elites. Be prepared for worldwide emergency alerts, blackouts and 10 days of communication darkness. Be ready when worldwide EBS alerts announce the global currency reset. It will be a moment when every major communication device around the globe, cell phones, TVs, radios, internet, will sound the same message. All of them, at the same time, introduced by the sounds of 7 trumpets. For 72 hours the world will be fed a steady stream of truthful declassified information, real history over the last 100 years. The crimes against humanity of those who said they were protecting it. The technology they stole from you. The economic system that made you a slave to debt. Military sources have revealed that on Monday, August 24, 2026, the new gold/asset-backed global quantum financial system, QFS, will be alive, while the privately owned by Illuminati deep state cabal foreign bankers Federal Reserve, IRS and U.S. Incorporated dollar would be officially dead. With the QFS live the new rates of the gold/asset-backed U.S. note and other currencies of the 209 BRICS nations will be active and tradable. They've repriced the gold behind 209 nations' currencies for the new system to $4,384, the last dollar price that gold will ever have. As the QFS goes live, gold would no longer trade in dollars, but in quantum-verified weight. Tier 4B, US, the internet group who held foreign currencies and ZIM bonds, notification was already queued. The 800 numbers have been tested. The redemption centers were staffed. What we thought we knew, but didn't really know and now are supposed to know but don't have a clue. With clones, doubles, made-up movies Hollywood style and Trump's military alliance throwing more popcorn at us, it gets so confusing. The world's leading bioweapons specialist Professor Francis Boyle, who wrote the U.S. Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act, is dead just days after signing a Dutch court affidavit. His testimony for the court said that COVID injections were not medicine but Frankenshots, synthetic biological weapons with illegal gain-of-function spike proteins and Pentagon/DARPA nanotechnology delivery systems designed to kill and maim en masse. Boyle was scheduled to testify in a Dutch court against Gates, Borla and the rest of the architects of the Great Reset. President Trump has shared a map depicting the Strait of Hormuz as a new U.S. territory, fueling chaos. GTMO, 2+ million indictments worldwide. All will be revealed by EBS. That is the cover story of the movie If They Died in Public. If they confessed and shared secrets, they were given a choice in how their death was announced to the public. It was part of their deal to have a role in the movie. They were tried by tribunals when they had completed their function. If they did not confess and did not share secrets and did not choose to participate in the movie with the role, they were executed for their crimes against humanity. To be rich and famous means they have sold their soul to the devil. This applies to all industries, plus they had a choice. They took us all in. And most of these people aren't even people. Humans can't eat human flesh and drink human blood the way they used to. Ever heard of spirit cooking parties? A Trump investigation recently uncovered $8.3 billion in fraudulent research grants to universities. These universities were conducting illegal bioweapon research in partnership with foreign governments. There were 15 university presidents, 47 federal contractors, 3 members of Congress and 8 judges involved. They were all coordinating with foreign operatives to develop biological weapons on American soil. Sunday, 23rd of August, 2026, Medbed bombshell. 99% of cancer cured in under an hour. The suppressed healing technology they say could change human medicine forever. Open the doors and let humanity see them. Sunday, 23rd of August, 2026, explosive status report. The cabal is dismantled. Ricardo Bossi on how the White Hats dismantled the global control grid. Possible timing, B. That's all that's left. August 24th. The date they don't want you to circle. JFK 17 letters awakening on Telegram. Sunday, 23rd of August, 2026, Trump didn't extend the Iran deadline because he's negotiating. He extended it because the system isn't ready yet. Let me explain what's actually happening, and why you need to screenshot this message. Right now, at this very moment, 3 things are being moved simultaneously. Gold. Central banks bought more gold in the last 90 days than in any quarter since 1967. Not investment banks. Central banks. The ones who write the rules. They're not buying gold because they're scared. They're buying it because they know what's replacing the dollar. Quantum nodes. The QFS backbone went from 12 active nodes in January to 67 active nodes as of last Friday. Each node processes 1.4 million transactions per second. You don't build that kind of infrastructure for a system you're not about to turn on. Swift access keys. Ripple's partner Thunes quietly announced stablecoin payouts to 11,500 banks through Swift. They called it a smart superhighway. That's not a partnership. That's a replacement wearing a disguise. 3 moves. 1 deadline. August 24th. Now here's the part they'll never say on television. The Iran war isn't about Iran. It never was. Every bomb that falls on Tehran is a distraction from what's happening in the server rooms underneath the Federal Reserve buildings in New York, Chicago, and San Francisco. They're migrating the ledger. $23 trillion in U.S. debt. $8 trillion in offshore accounts. Every transaction, every loan, every dark money transfer since 1971, all of it is being moved from the old system to the new one. And when the migration is complete, the old system gets unplugged. That's what August 24th is. Not a deadline for Iran. A deadline for the Federal Reserve. Why do you think gold dropped from $5,595 to $4,384 in 8 weeks? That's not a crash. That's a controlled descent. They're repricing gold for the new system. When QFS goes live, gold doesn't trade in dollars anymore. It trades in quantum verified weight. The price you see today is the last dollar price gold will ever have. Tier 4B notifications are already queued. The 800 numbers have been tested. The redemption centers are staffed. I told you last week, the deals are signed. The gold has moved. The war is the cover. 48 hours. When the clock hits 0, the dollar doesn't crash. It simply stops existing. Set your alarm for August 24th. Forward this to everyone you trust. Possible Medbed timing. On Sunday, 23rd of August, 2026, 1:07, JFK Jr., And the Global White Hat Military Alliance confirmed quantum medbeds are permanently online worldwide with free access fully activated as Trump delivers his epic address announcing total annihilation of deep state big pharma and end of medical slavery while Starlink TBS prepares full exposure of suppressed tech and elite crimes under GCR QFS. On Sunday 23 August, 2026, worldwide victory celebrations explode as medbeds lock online everywhere. Trump's epic address declares complete destruction of cabal's 50-year medical tyranny. Chronic illness, cancers, vaccine damage and chemtrail toxins vanish in under 30-minute quantum sessions. Missing limbs regrow, organs regenerate and age reverses 20 to 30 years for millions of patriots rising sovereign and free. On Monday, August 24, 2026, ISO 20022 completes gold-backed QFS transition powering infinite free med beds across all 209 nations. Redemption centers open September. Appointments as remaining cabal medical elites, cloned controllers and Illuminati remnants face public military tribunals for crimes against children and humanity. On Tuesday, August 25, 2026, free medbed access cards reach every registered citizen as perfect health becomes planetary normal under restored Republican Nizar GCR abundance. Underground tunnel survivors and trafficked children emerge fully restored to youth while Alliance forces seal last Illuminati strongholds forever. On Wednesday 26 August, 2026, mass healings accelerate with Crystal Chamber space program tech fully integrated. Humanity enters golden age of unlimited vitality, Tesla-free energy and zero disease as cabal's suppression of extraterrestrial frequency healing collapses under Trump's military command. On Thursday, August 27, 2026, portable home medbed units flood every Patriot household funded by Zim Redemptions and QFS. Full DNA mapping and consciousness restoration reverse generational trauma and bioweapons overnight while global streams broadcast continuous regenerations proving the miracle irreversible. On Friday, August 28, 2026, final Starlink EBS locks in restored republic as healed humanity celebrates permanent death of fiat, debt slavery and big pharma pedophile networks. Medbeds become free birthright of every soul under white hat protection forever. See Global Currency Reset. Currently, there is no public access to QFS accounts. Any individual or platform claiming they can help you redirect your funds into a QFS account today is engaging in a scam. There have been reports of individuals losing tens of thousands of dollars to these predatory schemes. The transition to the new financial system is a military-grade operation. When it is ready for public integration, it will not come through unsolicited internet offers. American Media Group Sunday 23 August, 2026. Thai 4B currency exchanges were being reported across the U.S. These were test exchanges done by private appointment. Signed NDAs. Terminals flashing revalued rates for seconds before vanishing. Bankers speak in code. Security teams double their shifts. Redemption centers stand by in silence. Something is moving, quietly, powerfully and irreversibly. Sunday 23 August, 2026, special alert, the structural reset has begun. Monday, August 10, 2026 Tony call on bank exchanges. The banks are scared of us ordinary people who hold foreign currencies and have their own list of high-wealth clients who they have been inviting into exchange early. There is no way to get on that list, nor would you want to. You are already on it, or not. The bank appointments with their clients have each taken 3 to 4 hours, not the 40 or so men that we expect. Anyone who raises their voice at a bank exchange appointment can risk being blocked and not get access to their bank account. You can negotiate a rate with the bank, but do not get into an argument or they will block you. Tony has heard of people getting as high as $6 per dinar at their bank exchange. Judy note, exchange rates at redemption centers were expected to be much higher than at a bank, especially the contract rate on the dinar which the banks can't offer. Save the Children, F-Bombshell Report, Hillary Snuff Film, Graphic Content, Pizzagate, Peter Wood, Celebrity Arrest Update. In the dark corners of the internet, the name Hillary Clinton surfaces again, this time at the core of one of the most terrifying scandals imaginable. For those brave enough to uncover the truth, Pizzagate has become a chilling symbol of a hidden network of elites who prey on children, operating from the shadows of DC's corridors of power. This is not just a conspiracy, it's a web of deception that reaches into the upper echelons of government, Hollywood, and beyond. Pizzagate, The word that launched 1,000 investigations, a portal into a sinister world of pedophilia, corruption, and satanic rituals. Clinton, they say, is not merely a bystander. She's the mastermind. The queen. The one pulling the strings behind closed doors, orchestrating atrocities too horrific to comprehend. Peter Wood. Hollywood has long been a den of rumors and scandals, but the recent revelations go beyond mere gossip. Allegations of child exploitation and sex trafficking are now flooding the airwaves. And where is Clinton? Rumor has it, she's been at the heart of these gatherings, rubbing shoulders with the rich and powerful while children pay the ultimate price. But none of these accusations compare to what's been whispered about in the darkest parts of the web, a snuff film. A horrific, gut-wrenching display of murder for the sake of entertainment. And at the center of this nightmare, Hillary Clinton. Frazzled R.I.P., this name alone haunts the minds of anyone who has dared to dig deeper. Allegedly, it is a ritualistic murder video involving none other than Hillary herself. While skeptics dismiss these claims, those who've seen or heard of it describe something out of a horror show. The pieces of the puzzle are too clear to ignore, a connection between Pizzagate, Peter Wood, and the elites who think they're untouchable. Meanwhile, citizen journalists are doing the job mainstream reporters won't. They're connecting the dots. Gee, what we think we know as of Monday, August 24, 2026, election fraud. Multiple affidavits expose thousands of military mail-in ballot batches being 80% to 90% all for Biden, with some even being 100% all for Biden in the GA 2020 election. One military batch showed 950 for Biden, and 0 for Trump, which is statistically impossible. Witnesses also testified that they all looked like Xeroxed copies, the paper looked and felt different, and the watermark did not match other authenticated ballots. Congressional hearing on 2020 election fraud. An American is so upset with the job market she's in tears. She's clearly been trying to get a job for a long time. She was offered a job and then the offer was rescinded. She has every right to be this upset. In the last 12 months 70 to 80% of jobs went to foreign-born workers. Roughly 90% of all U.S. job gains went to foreign workers since 2020. This is real data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We are being replaced by foreigners. Edward Snowden on Telegram, Sunday 23 August. 2026, Sunday 23 August. 2026, breaking special report, Wall Street and London so panic, but Scott Bessent's secret plan is crushing them. Sunday 23 August. 2026, the Hamiltonian Restoration. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent drops economic nuclear bomb on globalists, dependency is slavery. Sunday 23 August. 2026, midterm mega bomb. Elon Musk deploys $100+ million war chest as Trump's MAGA machine gears up, the America First power play that could crush the midterms. Critical alert, every hospital in the United States received a sealed envelope from the Department of Defense. Friday morning. At 9 a.m. every hospital administrator in the United States, all 6,129, received a hand-delivered envelope marked Department of Defense, Medical Directive 2026-04, for department use only. It was hand-delivered by uniformed military personnel who waited in the lobby until the administrator personally signed for it. No hospital publicly disclosed the contents of the envelope. But 4 administrators broke the silence on an encrypted forum a few hours later. Their posts all had the same tone: everything is about to change. The directive is 11 pages long. The first page contains a single instruction: effective immediately, all contracts for the procurement of pharmaceutical products with the following entities are suspended pending federal review. The list contains 31 companies. All the major pharmaceutical manufacturers on the planet: Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Merck, AstraZeneca, Novartis, Roche, all of them. Suspended. Not renegotiated. Not modified. Suspended. Page 2 introduces the replacement, a new federal medical supply chain operating under Military Logistics Command. The supplies don't come from pharmaceutical labs. They come from facilities operating under Department of Defense classification since 2021. Facilities that produce frequency-based healing devices, bioregenerative compounds, cell restoration technology, equipment that hospital staff have never seen, never been trained on, and never knew existed. Pages 3 through 8 are training protocols. All doctors, all nurses, all technicians, Mandatory 72-hour certification in what the directive calls quantum medical systems. Not optional. Not voluntary. Mandatory. Page 9 is what silenced the administrators. He claims that all patient charges through private insurance companies will be reduced to zero in 90 days. No more co-payments. No more deductibles. No more $47 aspirins. No more $300,000 cancer treatments that don't cure cancer. The funding model is shifting entirely to the QFS medical allocation system, a pre-funded, asset-backed account assigned to every citizen at birth. An account you were never told about. An account that has been accumulating value since the day your birth certificate was registered. Your birth certificate wasn't just a record. It was a security. Traded on the stock exchange. Valued in the millions. The profits went to the corporation that owned the system. That corporation no longer owns the system. The 90-day countdown has begun. In November, the hospital you walk into won't be the one you remember. The pills will be gone. The equipment will be different. The bill will be zero. They kept you sick because healthy people don't generate revenue. This business model just received its termination notice. Delivered personally. H-killer vaccination. A Pfizer executive has admitted under oath, our mRNA COVID vaccines were never tested to stop virus transmission before being rolled out to humanity at large. All those WHO-urged vaccination must be brought to justice for genocide. 2 massive COVID shot studies involving 8.7 million people confirm Fauci and Gates injected the world with cancer. Donald Trump office on Telegram Sunday 23 August. 2026, breast cancer, plus 54%, prostate cancer, plus 69%, lung cancer, plus 53%, bladder cancer, plus 62%, colon cancer, plus 35%, stomach cancer, plus 34%, thyroid cancer, plus 35%. Senator Ron Johnson, this is a big scandal. Our FDA ignored the COVID injection harms, and hundreds of thousands of people are permanently disabled or lost their life. Hundreds of thousands. Disabled for life. Dead. Because the FDA brushed aside safety signals. Mainstream media won't cover it still. It's the narrative they're protecting, not the people. How many more Americans have to be destroyed before we get real accountability? Senate hearing on the COVID vax. The pharma rep who saw their K-list, kill list for profit, 2,847 names for the quarter. Mr. pulled the final chapter on Telegram Sunday 23 August. 2026 I sold cancer drugs for 11 years. I made $340,000 a year convincing doctors to prescribe treatments I knew didn't work. Then one night, I saw the list. And I understood everything. I was a senior sales representative for one of the top 3 pharmaceutical companies in the world. I won't name them yet. My lawyers are still working on my protection agreement under the executive order. My job was simple: visit oncologists, buy them dinners, take them to conferences, and make sure they prescribed our chemotherapy drugs over the competitors. I was good at it. Top 1% nationally for 7 consecutive years. I never questioned it. The drugs had FDA approval. The doctors trusted me. The patients trusted them. The system worked, for everyone except the patients. In November 2024, I was at a private dinner in Manhattan with 3 executives from my company. We had closed a $1.2 billion hospital network contract. Champagne. Cigars. The usual. One of the executives left his phone on the table when he went to the bathroom. A notification popped up. It was an encrypted message. The preview read, updated K-list attached. 2,847 names added this quarter. Confirm receipt. I didn't touch the phone. But I remembered the term. K-list. Over the next 3 months, I quietly asked around. Most people had never heard of it. But one senior colleague, a man who had been with the company for 30 years, went pale when I mentioned it. He pulled me into a stairwell and said, "The K-list is the kill list. It's every patient whose insurance profile makes them more profitable dead than alive. Long-term treatment patients who are about to hit their coverage cap. If they die before the cap, the company collects the full treatment cycle payment. If they live past it, the insurance stops paying and we lose money." I said, "Are you telling me we let people die for billing optimization?" He said, "We don't let them die. We make sure the treatment doesn't work well enough to save them. The dosing protocols are calibrated. Not to kill. Just to not cure." I went home that night and threw up for an hour. 2,847 names added in 1 quarter. 4 quarters a year. For how many years? The math is simple. And the math is murder. I resigned in January 2025. I took nothing with me except what I remembered. But when Executive Order 2026-1947 was signed, I contacted a lawyer. The NDA protections are dissolving. The whistleblower provisions are active. I am one of dozens preparing to testify. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't just suppress cures. It engineers death on a schedule. And every single executive knows it. The K-list is real. The names on it are real. And in 34 days, the world will see it. Dutch court makes progress. COVID vaccines now officially classified as bioweapons in landmark lawsuit against Bill Gates and Pfizer CEO Albert Bourla, JFK 17 letters awakening on Telegram Sunday 23 August. 2026, a Dutch court has heard sworn evidence for the first time ever that the mRNA vaccines are military bioweapons, not medicine. The world's leading bioweapons specialist, who literally wrote the U.S. Biological Weapons Anti-Terrorism Act, the late Professor Francis Boyle, was scheduled to testify against Gates, Bourla and the rest of the architects of the Great Reset. In a scathing affidavit, Boyle called the COVID injections Frankenshots, synthetic biological weapons with illegal gain-of-function spike proteins and Pentagon/DARPA nanotechnology delivery systems designed to kill and maim en masse. Then, mere days after agreeing to testify under oath in this very case, Professor Boyle was dead. A coincidence? Or the convenient silencing of the one man who could legally define these shots as bioweapons under international law? His last testimony is now evidence in court. Jab injured, and now dead, plaintiffs sue Gates, Bourla, ex-Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte and more for crimes against humanity under the Rome Statute. The court has ordered Gates and Bourla to appear and to account for this. Next court date, 10/22/2026. Official court proof is what was once known as conspiracy theory. This is Nuremberg 2.0 happening right before our eyes. KRFK Jr., vaccines have caused an explosion of allergies to peanuts, dairy, eggs, meat and many more. How do you cause a sudden lifelong debilitating allergy? You inject the aluminum adjuvant with protein. The aluminum adjuvant does not just give you allergies to the materials that are in that vaccine. It will also give you an allergy to materials that are in the ambient environment at the time the vaccine was given. For example, if you get that vaccine when there's a Timothy weed outbreak, you can suddenly come down with a lifelong allergy to Timothy weed. Research shows that vaccinated children have 30x the rate of allergic rhinitis as kids who are unvaccinated and a 36% higher rate of asthma diagnosis in 2 to 5-year-old children. We created an entire generation of severe allergies by injecting vaccines. Common ingredients used with aluminum in vaccines: 1. Peanut causes lifelong peanut allergy. 2. Egg protein responsible for egg and poultry allergies. 3. Gelatin. Pork gelatin can be the cause of meat allergy. 4. Casein dairy protein causes lifelong dairy intolerance. 5. Neomycin antibiotic causes antibiotic resistance and antibiotic allergies. 6. Yeast protein causes lifelong brewer's yeast and baker's yeast allergies. 7. Pig polyethylene glycol causes a lifelong allergy to this polymer widely used in food, cosmetics and medications. Nobel laureate Charles Richet demonstrated over 100 years ago that injecting a protein into animals or humans causes immune system sensitization to that protein. Subsequent exposure to the protein results in allergic reactions or anaphylaxis. The Institute of Medicine, IOM, confirmed that food proteins in vaccines cause food allergy, in its 2011 report. And here's the kicker, the same big pharma companies that created the allergy epidemic now make billions more, by selling allergy medications like Claritin, Allegra, Zyrtec, Xyzal, and these products cause depression which then make them more profit when antidepressant SSRIs are prescribed. Wake up America. President Trump just made a move that absolutely terrified the deep state. On July 25, 2026, he put all federal diversity staff on paid leave, effective immediately. The media is calling it routine. They're lying. Here's what they don't want you to know. What were these diversity programs really doing? While America was sleeping, 312 federal employees were running a $47 million per year operation. Not for diversity training. For funding deep state black operations across multiple agencies. How did they hide IT? Every single federal agency had a chief diversity officer. Each one reported directly to a shadow network operating inside the Department of Justice. The money flowed through shell organizations, universities, and non-profits. Nobody was watching. Nobody was asking questions. What did Trump's team discover? Trump's intelligence team discovered encrypted communications. They found SWIFT transfer records proving $8.3 billion in fraudulent research grants to universities. These universities were conducting illegal bioweapon research in partnership with foreign governments. Who is involved in this conspiracy? 15 university presidents, 47 federal contractors, 3 members of Congress, 8 judges. They were all coordinating with foreign operatives to develop biological weapons on American soil. The evidence is overwhelming. What happens now? The arrests have already started. FBI director confirmed involvement with Deep State. The first wave arrested 312 federal employees. The second wave is targeting the university presidents and contractors. The third wave is coming for Congress and the judiciary. Why did Trump move so fast? Because the Deep State was preparing to activate their final contingency plan. They were using these networks to coordinate a massive coup attempt. Trump's team intercepted their communications. He moved first and moved decisively. When will the public know the truth? Trump is preparing a 48-hour national address. When he speaks, the emergency broadcast system will activate nationwide. The military tribunals begin August 1st. The evidence will be declassified. The pattern is clear. They built a system to hide trillions of dollars. They used diversity as cover. They infiltrated every agency. They were preparing to take down the Republic. But Trump saw it coming. Bruce, the big call, via Wiser Now, we have heard a few sources give us early, this week for a start for us. We've heard middle of, this week, and we've heard could be the end of, the week, so we'll hopefully get everything rock and rolling before the end of this month. Let's see what happens. Marks, articles are back and forth in Iraq, just like they did before the RV in Kuwait. I am feeling very good about where we are at. Ariel, $3.37, represents the projected open market float ceiling post-launch. This is where the currency is expected to settle once it hits unrestricted forex markets. The delta between 3.22, calibrated floor/settlement, and 3.37, market ceiling, is not a discrepancy. It is a designed quarter, a controlled spread. Pimpy, I'm concerned a lot of you are not understanding what the deletion of the 3 zeros are. There's so many of you out there that think, delete the zeros only happens in country. You're not listening to reason. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I'm telling guys, I've read it. I've studied it. If 3 zeros are deleted, the nominal value, which is, the bank note, the purchasing power relative to foreign currency theoretically remains the same. When a redenomination happens, it doesn't just happen in country, it happens out of country. Just because you're out of country, you don't get anything special. Your currency is treated the same way as the Iraqi dinar notes in country. You might want to hold on to your dinar. It might shoot up to $3 for every dinar. If they leave the zeros on there, we all become millionaires. It's party time in Vegas. If they do delete the zeros and we don't get nowhere where we thought we were going to get, well, at least we're prepared for it. Jeff, the amount of dinar right now presently around the world is 136 trillion. Is the dinar outside Iraq usable for anything? Hell no, it's not. So, does the central bank give two shits about it? Absolutely not. Why? It's not usable, can't be used for anything outside of Iraq. The United States has about half of Iraq's money supply. Can the US do anything with it? Nope, the central bank only cares about how much dinar is physically within the country of Iraq. It's roughly 20 to 40 trillion. When they delete the zeros, the money supply changes to 20 to 40 billion, which is a perfect amount. Now, what are all these countries going to do with unusable, unrecognizable currency? They're using it to asset back. It's called Basel III compliance, to asset back or strengthen their own country's physical currency, because Basel III says countries can strengthen the value of their country's currencies with both precious metals and physical currency notes. The central bank doesn't care about the dinar outside of Iraq. They only care about the dinar that remains in country. The smaller currency notes are not going to come out till after the rate has changed. Stephen, we are about to find out what they are going to do. Whether they're going to redenominate and we walk away with nothing, or are they going to revalue their currency? I believe they're going to revalue their currency. I believe if they wanted to redenominate their currency, which has been the argument for many years, they could have done it a very long time ago. There's probably going to be 10% to 20% of people who own Iraqi dinar who are going to be led astray and following the wrong advice. The most important thing you need to focus on is getting your BT to the bank once the dinar revalues. That is it. If you just take that step, and deposit your dinar, that's going to be the most important thing you could do. Frank 26, KTFA, what are they going to do at the banks of Iraq, when they exchange old notes for new notes? They're going to ask, where did you get this? Prove it to me. And if they can't answer, they're going to take those dinars from them. American banks are doing the same thing. American banks are going to ask you, show me your receipt. And they're going to say, where did you get this? And there's going to be an authority at the banks waiting for you. Why? I told you they're coming after you even before you exchange. Militiaman, the plan is too far along to reverse at this stage. Big business is not waiting for perfect political optics. The systems track, the banking, payments, customs, gas capture, standardization, performance, budgeting, all those things are still advancing at the same time. The so-called experts are not telling you this, they don't mention it when they talk about redenomination. If I ever believed it was going to be a reverse split, I wouldn't hear. Sandy Ingram, yes, the intention is to reprint the currency. You know that has been one of my most major concerns surrounding the Iraqi dinar. If they reprint the currency, the question becomes, how will we people outside of Iraq exchange our old banknotes for the new banknotes? Caparoni, Iraq has made it very clear that their intentions are to create a diverse, strong economy with manufacturing, agriculture, tourism integrating with the global financial system. Following the IMF directives is what Iraq is doing. There will never be a significant overnight RV. Investing in the dinar is a slow growth process. The dinar could rise over the next several months or even years, but if it does, it will be a result of Iraq's own economic prosperity. Tom, question, could you vaguely break down your trust/LLC structures, and the reason why at each level, in place for this event? Tom, I am going to recommend a book by a professional. The Tax and Legal Playbook by Mark J. Kohler. I learned a lot from him in that book. Reset intelligence, weapons first, cabinet second, budget after that. The raid arrives last, any morning it chooses, the CBI can open a window, name a note and print a number. Every question about the dinar has always led back to the weapons. Nothing moves until they answer to the state. This week the man holding them asked in public what handing them over looks like on the other side. Restored Republic via GCR. Judy note, prosecutors have proof of a $2.8 million bribe payment from Pfizer to the FDA for their bioweapon approval of the COVID vaccine. Dr. Pierre Corey, unvaccinated children are far healthier. I would dismantle the whole vaccine apparatus. They're destroying the health of our children, and our country. They're unnecessary. They're built on myths. I am so angry for having been lied to for so long. The books that they write about vaccines are just false. They're false. That whole vaccine myth needs to be taken down. People need to educate themselves on that, and I include all of the doctors. Saturday, 22nd of August, 2026, explosive report, 25,000 pages. One verdict, guilty. Putin delivers 25,000-page mRNA dossier to Trump, time to arrest Bill Gates for mRNA crimes. It's official. Pfizer has published the list of possible side effects of its COVID vaccine. It's criminal. 49 health consequences of everything from heart attacks, sudden infant deaths, diabetes, liver damage, epileptic seizures to brainstem embolism. Severe consequences of a so-called vaccine that protects neither against the disease, nor its transmission, nor the severe forms. I was insulted, called a dangerous conspiracy theorist. I lost friends for saying that. For any medication there are side effects, for loudly proclaiming that a so-called vaccine, which kills more than the disease, has no reason to be used, nor made mandatory. I lost my job as a surgeon because of it. Name withheld. 1. Blood clot. 2. Acute kidney injury. 3. Acute flaccid myelitis. 4. Positive anti-sperm antibodies. 5. Brainstem embolism. 6. Brainstem thrombosis. 7. Cardiac arrest, hundreds of cases. Heart failure. 9. Cardiac ventricular thrombosis. 10. Cardiogenic shock. 11. Central nervous system vasculitis, 12, neonatal death, 13, deep vein thrombosis, 14, brainstem encephalitis, 15, hemorrhagic encephalitis, 16, frontal lobe epilepsy, 17, epileptic psychosis, 18, facial paralysis, 19, fetal distress syndrome, 20, gastrointestinal amyloidosis, 21, generalized tonic-clonic seizure, 22, Hashimoto's encephalopathy, 23, hepatic vascular thrombosis, 24, shingles reactivation, 25, cancer reactivation, 26, turbocancers, 27, immune-mediated hepatitis, 28, interstitial lung disease, 29, jugular vein embolism, 30, juvenile myoclonic epilepsy, 31, liver damage, 32, low birth weight, 34, multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children, 35, myocarditis, 36, neonatal seizure, 37, pancreatitis, 38, pneumonia, 39, stillbirth, 40, tachycardia, 41, temporal lobe epilepsy, 43, testicular autoimmunity, 44, thrombotic stroke, 45, type 1 diabetes mellitus, 46, neonatal vein thrombosis, 47, vertebral artery thrombosis, 48, pericarditis, 49, sudden infant death syndrome. There was a Gallup poll that showed a record number of Americans no longer trusted the pharmaceutical industry. Only 18% of Americans held a favorable view of Big Pharma. How does a large pharmaceutical company such as Pfizer get away with committing the murder of millions and causing more millions lifelong health problems? It all boiled down to the Illuminati deep state cabal elites and their search for power and riches. In 1993, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of a farmers' lawsuit against the banks. The evidence: fraudulent foreclosures, illegal taxation and a government in collusion with the Federal Reserve. The 16th Amendment had never been ratified, a century-long deception that the deep state cabal owned American taxpayers. In 2000 at gunpoint President Clinton was forced to sign the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, NESARA, that would return the people's money back to the people. Alan Greenspan was scheduled to announce NESARA at 10 a.m. on September 11, 2001, but at 8:46 a.m. the first of the World Trade Towers was hit. By 10 a.m. on 9/11 the world was in smoke, announcement silenced, gold and silver inside Building 7 vanished and truth buried beneath rubble and propaganda. They murdered thousands to erase one law, and stole trillions to protect a system of slavery. But NESARA did not die. The Chief Justices placed guardians to monitor. The ink on Clinton's signature was valid. The law stood, just not announced. Watch the water, the next target of the cabal's World Economic Forum, your tap water. From the World Economic Forum, agenda collaborator, Mariana Mazzucato, our attempt to vaccinate the entire planet failed. Climate change is too abstract for people to understand, but the next water crisis is something everyone will rally around. Translation: the water from your tap no longer belongs to you. It belongs to global bureaucrats and WEF cronies like Bill Gates who will manage it for the planet. For 2 decades the deep state played out wars in the Middle East, manufactured recessions, financial crashes, bailouts and pandemics. Yet the White Hat Alliance built silently and continuity of government was activated. Starlink satellites aligned. The quantum financial system was constructed, a living network immune to corruption, tied not to fiat but to transparency and truth. The emergency broadcast system awaits armed, ready to override every screen on Earth. The QFS hums beneath the surface, prepared to dissolve debt, erase slavery money, and install a new golden architecture. The plan was precise. When the switch was thrown, 2 streams collided, first the EBS, unmasking crimes, broadcasting tribunals, forcing the world to face the scale of deception, then the QFS, resetting the global economy, ending the Federal Reserve, releasing humanity from a century of theft. They will call it the Great Silence, 10 days where the internet goes dark, banks shutter, ATMs fail, and every channel becomes disclosure. When the signal breaks, the world you knew will collapse in hours, and the world they hid will rise in light. NESARA and JCR, the gold/asset-backed quantum financial system of 209 countries and the worldwide emergency broadcast system will soon converge. When that moment comes, nothing will ever be the same again. No official time frame has been given for when the emergency broadcast system would trigger a 3-day event, followed by 10 days of communication darkness, perhaps 3 to 6 weeks, where all across the world will be isolated at home, or a place of their choice. The Global Military Alliance will suspend the media, internet, phones, TV and radio and play 8-hour documentaries 24/7 about what is going on. During that time the Global Military Alliance will take down what was left of the Illuminati deep state cabal, their governments, make mass arrests of corrupt global elites, hold military tribunals and carry out sentences on Satan worshipper pedophiles who have committed treason, child sacrifices and crimes against humanity. B. What we thought we knew, but didn't really know and now are supposed to know but don't have a clue. With clones, doubles, made-up movies Hollywood-style and Trump's military alliance throwing more popcorn at us, it gets so confusing. You said administrator at Senate hearing, you said funded bioweapons programs using tax dollars, which meant that taxpayers were funding their own deaths. White Hats on Telegram Saturday 22nd of August. 2026, Saturday 22nd of August. 2026 Hurricane Lala aftermath on Hawaii Island, South Point. Remember when the Democrats hired 87,000 assholes to go after the American taxpayer? Here is one of them, Alex Mina, who works in the IRS Criminal Investigations Division, caught on hidden camera. The Internal Revenue Service has no problem going after the small people, shooting people, putting people in prison, and destroying people's lives. The IRS is unconstitutionally using AI to access everyone's bank accounts nationwide. Like, in 6 months, AI, were able to capture $500 million. When I went to the Criminal Investigation Unit, the guy said, the first person you shoot, you're gonna remember, but after that, you're gonna shoot like 100 people. You're not gonna remember any of them. IRS agents are assholes. They are the definition of an asshole. All of them. See Prepare Yourself, the storm will break with QFS, Tier 4B Nizar Jazara on Telegram Saturday 22nd of August. 2026, from Sunday 23rd of August. 2026 The QFS is no longer a test, it's the dawn of transparency, accountability, and freedom from cabal control. The countdown has begun, and there's nowhere left for the elites to hide. The quantum financial system is here to end every lie and deception ever used against us. Monday, August 10, 2026 Breaking, the 4 portals of the quantum financial system, QFS, USA, European, UK, Netherlands and Asia-Africa-Australia portals, are set to connect and transform the world. Discover how these portals will bring transparency, asset-backed currencies, and global financial freedom, ending deep state control. The quantum financial system, QFS, is here, set to forever change how the world handles money. The era of corrupt financial practices, hidden transactions, and deep state manipulation is coming to an end. The QFS promises transparency, security, and direct control over personal finances. The system operates through its 4 portals, gateways connecting the world's financial networks. This isn't just another financial overhaul, it's a transformation of the global economy. The 4 portals of the QFS connect continents and bring financial autonomy to millions. 1. USA Portal, the lifeblood of the Americas, covering North, Central, and South America. The USA Portal ensures connection to the QFS across the Western Hemisphere. The introduction of the US note, USN, an asset-backed currency tied to gold and silver, replaces the corrupt systems centered around the US dollar. With this shift, the Federal Reserve's control over the American economy ends, marking the collapse of the fiat system. Impact on everyday people. The USA Portal will empower citizens from Canada to Chile with direct access to their wealth, free from bank manipulation. This portal brings unprecedented stability through the USN, an asset-backed currency providing financial sovereignty across the continent. 2. European Portal, reclaiming financial sovereignty, breaking free from the euro. The European Portal allows countries like Netherlands, Spain, Italy, France, and Germany to reclaim financial independence. Each nation will issue its own QFS-linked currency backed by assets, ensuring the end of financial manipulation. A united, yet independent Europe. Under the QFS, each country will manage its economy independently while retaining transparency and security. This shift means financial freedom for individuals and national autonomy, signaling the end of the deep state's control over Europe's financial systems. 3. UK Portal, a return to sterling strength. The UK Portal introduces the sterling token, an asset-backed currency restoring financial independence to England, Scotland, Wales, and Ireland. This new currency, supported by the QFS, ends Britain's reliance on the euro and deep state influence, with each transaction secure and traceable. 4. Asia-Africa-Australia Portal, a continental shift in power. Covering a vast area including India, South Africa, Australia, and all of Asia, this portal represents a seismic shift in global financial power. The QFS will support these nations with asset-backed currencies, promoting economic prosperity from their own resources rather than exploitation by external forces. Unleashing a new wave of prosperity, Asia, Africa, Netherlands, and Australia, once battlegrounds for financial manipulation, will experience newfound prosperity. This portal promises a future where wealth benefits the people and economies of these regions, free from external interference. The grip of the deep state is loosening as financial freedom becomes a reality. This video is reposted from the blog, erdailyblog.com. Possible timing. D. Here is what the legacy banking cartel is desperately trying to censor before you wake up tomorrow morning. The Tier 4B activation. The secure satellite uplink to the non-custodial Tier 4B validation terminals has transitioned from testing to live execution. The asset-backed sovereign funds, backed by the physical gold re-anchored to the U.S. Treasury, are now officially mapped to the local routing networks. The Quantum Handshake. Over 12,000 regional and local credit unions have successfully integrated the ISO 20022 protocol over the last 4 hours. The corrupt Tier 1 mega banks that refuse to comply with the asset-backed standards have had their settlement privileges permanently revoked by the military alliance. The Nizar liquidations, the hidden offshore pools used by the globalist corporations to short the markets and suppress humanity, have been completely drained. Those funds have been legally redirected into the primary redemption accounts. The distribution protocols are locked. They told you the old system was too big to fail. They wanted you to believe you were trapped in their endless debt loop forever. Look at the sudden, forced updates on your personal banking apps tonight. Look at the emergency internal memos leaked from the administrative floors of Wall Street. The old world didn't just crash. The keys to the entire global wealth ledger were handed back to the people. The ghost currency is evaporating. The real asset-backed era is officially online. You held the line through the darkest hours of the deception. Now, watch the monitors as the old machine loses its power forever. QFS integration live ISO 20022 sovereign. The reconciliation begins. The countdown has hit 0. The new dawn is already here. Possible timing. Medbeds. Medbed activation on Telegram Saturday 22nd of August. 2026, on Saturday 22nd of August. 2026 107, JFK Jr., and the Global White Hat Military Alliance confirmed free global access to quantum medbeds has expanded across every nation as portable Tesla-free energy units flood Patriot homes and community hubs after GCR QFS funding ignited 70,000 centers on Thursday, August 20, 2026, and Starlink EBS streams of full regenerations began Wednesday, 19th of August, 2026. Proving the cabal's 50-year medical tyranny and big pharma suppression is finished forever under alliance force. On Saturday 22nd of August, 2026, every wait list vanishes completely as free medbed access opens for all awakening humanity. Chronic diseases, terminal cancers, vaccine injuries and chemtrail toxins dissolve in quantum frequency sessions lasting under 30 minutes. Missing limbs regrow overnight, spinal cords reconnect. Organs regenerate fully and age reverses 20 to 30 years for millions of patriots while Zim redemptions flood permanent neighborhood healing centers worldwide. On Sunday 23rd of August, 2026, massive worldwide victory celebrations explode marking medbeds permanently online everywhere. Trump's epic historic address announces the total destruction of the deep state big pharma death machine and permanent end of medical slavery. 10 days of darkness prepare the final Starlink EBS full exposure of every suppressed miracle technology and every pedophile elite crime against children as healed patriots rise sovereign and free. On Monday, August 24, 2026, ISO 20022 completes the gold-backed QFS transition funding infinite expansion of free medbeds across all 209 nations. Redemption centers open live appointments for the first week of September while remaining cabal medical elites, cloned controllers and Illuminati remnants face public military tribunals for crimes against children and humanity. On Tuesday, August 25, 2026, Free MedBed access cards reach every registered citizen as perfect health becomes the new planetary normal under the restored Republic and Nizar Jezar abundance. Underground tunnel survivors and trafficked children emerge fully restored to youth and health while Alliance forces lock down the last Illuminati strongholds forever. On Wednesday 26 August, 2026, mass healings accelerate with Crystal Chamber space program tech fully integrated. Humanity enters the golden age of unlimited vitality, Tesla-free energy and zero disease as the cabal's 50-year suppression of extraterrestrial frequency healing collapses under Trump's military command. Global currency reset. On Thursday, August 20, 2026 at exactly 8:14 p.m. Eastern, the old SWIFT Central Clearinghouse experienced a permanent database decoupling. The secondary handshake between the central banks of the G7 nations officially returned a terminal failure message. Thursday, 20 August 2026 Bruce, the big call. A higher-up said they were handling bonds in Miami, Geneva, and Reno. A military intel person said that as of 6 p.m. EST on Wednesday 19/2026 there was a 5-day window where Tier 4B would receive notification to set exchange/redemption appointments and be able to start appointments. That would take it to Monday, August 24, 2026. On Thursday 20th of August, Redemption Center leaders received saying that they should go into work on Friday, August 21, 2026 at 8:45 a.m. Thursday, August 20, 2026 Paymasters report full release. Direct confirmations have been sent to private transaction platforms in Reno and Zurich confirming that Tier 1 and Tier 2 payouts had been finalized. Tier 3 and Tier 4A, be next. If you're in the private groups, get ready now. Military movements confirmed to secure transition. Sources in Intel report increased security around major financial centers. Private security details have been deployed to Reno, Zurich, and Dubai. Special ops teams were making sure no foreign interference upsets this historic shift in global power. On Monday, August 24, 2026 the ISO 20022 messaging, that defines how banks transmit payment information, completes its transition across all major banking rails. For the first time in history SWIFT, Federal Reserve, European Central Bank, Bank of England, BRICS, IMF and all high-value cross-border payment systems will speak the same transaction language. The first week in September 2026 redemption centers will start processing live appointments in accordance with full JSR protocol. The schedule is already being filled with authorized, Tier 4B, participants, according to sources within 2 U.S. agencies. Judy note, your exchange/redemption appointment, as far as I know, which may be incorrect, anyone who has bought foreign currency and/or ZIM bonds from a valid dealer will be contacted by email, text or phone to obtain an 800 number and code used to set your exchange/redemption appointment at a redemption center of your choice. Get your plans/projects together and don't wait around for this to happen without being ready. No straight cash will be given. You are in charge of your funds and can place funds in different accounts. Advisors will be there to assist you with your funds and will help guide you in your projects or choosing one on the list. You can take to your appointment, advisors/bank contacts, if you have already spoken to a specific person, friend/any person/s you want to assist you. ZimCap information is changing daily, but as of now they are paying as follows: no projects equals 15 million no matter amount you might hold, with projects equals first 2 bond notes are 1-to-1 after this 25 million, per 100T, up to 30 bond notes. To negotiate further you will need to return. If you are a ZIM holder and in dire medical need you might be able to set a MedBed appointment at your redemption. This was because they are anxious to get the humanitarian programs going that were funded by your ZIM bonds. Movements of Global Military Alliance as of Tuesday, August 11, 2026, Tier 4B Nizar Jezara on Telegram Saturday 22nd of August, 2026, Global Military Alliance secures mainframe access to Central Intelligence and Deep State data servers, exposing direct funding trails to global manipulation campaigns. Emergency Special Operations Teams confiscate multi-billion-dollar offshore gold reserves and digital asset vaults tied to compromised sovereign wealth funds. Mass detentions of senior international corporate directors and financial technocrats implicated in designing global supply chain bottlenecks and artificial scarcity networks. Space Force defense units neutralize foreign satellite infrastructure used by elite cabal networks for encrypted command and control operations. Over 100,000 military tribunal prosecutors and investigators deployed across secured jurisdictions to process millions of pages of recovered digital evidence and witness depositions. Tuesday, August 11, 2026, complete shutdown of compromised SWIFT financial messaging nodes and commercial banking verification gateways. Global command structures confirm that the transition to direct military oversight of critical infrastructure is 100% complete. The old power structure is unable to recover or communicate. All secure channels are on standby for the imminent broadcast of documentary archives and prosecution logs across all intercepted networks. The final systemic dismantling of the elite class is reaching its culmination. Maintain operational awareness and monitor verified disclosure feeds. The Reset, eye-breaking dossier, Jerome Powell is enemy number one of finance, federal court moves to crush Federal Reserve, Tier 4B ISO 20022 on Telegram. August 22, 2026. Something unthinkable just happened. A federal court just dropped the hammer on Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve, revealing a secret economic war on the American people. Powell, who has long been portrayed as an impartial economist, is now revealed as a globalist enforcer running a monetary dictatorship behind closed doors. His title is Fed Chair, but what is his job? The number one financial enemy. The Federal Reserve has been a shadow government for over a century, setting interest rates, printing debt-based currency and engineering booms and busts while being above the law. But under Powell it became something darker. The execution arm of the globalist Great Reset. It is not serving America. It serves Davos. And the numbers tell the story. Over $2 trillion in deficit spending, $1 trillion in interest payments, and mortgage rates so high that the American dream has collapsed. At the same time, Wall Street, BlackRock and the WEF dine on the spoils. Trump was correct, the Fed doesn't work for the people. It serves a world syndicate. In a landmark decision, a judge ordered an emergency injunction stopping the secret of FOMC meetings of the Fed. The court has indicated that Powell's fortress of secrecy could be breached, revealing decades of backroom deals, rate manipulation and financial sabotage. Trump's legal offensive is in full swing, demanding total transparency, criminal investigations, and the destruction of Powell's grip on the American economy. This is not policy debate, it's economic war. Powell's Fed has used rate hikes to crush families, block home ownership and swell big bank profits. Gold has soared 28% this year, a global vote of no confidence in Mr. Powell's leadership. The dollar is in free fall. The pain is real, and not accidentally.